Alright, I'm going to show how to add a new feature to deploy it. What I want is when you have a deployment, I would like to have a small confetti cannon here so I can press it and it would actually count up. So I want to do the feature so it's possible to do confetti initially, but potentially also add more reactions afterwards. And for inspiration of this feature, it's how we do it on Hugging Face. So on Hugging Face you can press this small icon and then you can do I want to do a rocket, and it sends a reaction add and returns back an updated reaction with the count, what kind of reaction it is, and the array of users who actually reacted on this one. And this is the structure I want because it would allow me to expand on it, even though I only support one reaction. So let's see how to build that. First, I'll find this partial, and that would be the deployment. So I know that if we have this, if we want to place it next of this button, it's something around here. So okay, maybe I should look at the local version. There we go. So we have it here, and good. Just move it in here. Let's see. So we have it here, and now I want to tell it to add a reaction. So let's do the confetti one, and then I ask Copilot to make a functionality for that. Could you add the ability to react on this this deployment? You need to create the migrations on the deployments table. Call it reactions, and it should be possible to store the number of reactions and also the user who actually reacted on this deployment. Keep it in the same table as an array, and then I don't set it if it should use a JSON array, if it should use a column called, for example, confetti, having an array of IDs. I don't mention it. I'm just letting it do it. Please also update the UI so you will be able to press the and have it count one up. Also show the number of reactions on deployment, and if the user press on that again, oops, it should toggle it, right? It should toggle that. That's it. Don't want to do anything else for now. I'm pretty sure it will do the migration. Maybe it actually updates the UI first, but otherwise we'll do the migration where you have the ability to update the deployments. And I'm interested in figuring out what kind of table or what kind of column is it going to propose for me. But it gathers information about the model and how it's controller, and then it's looking at routes because it needs to see if it should add a new put or post route for adding a reaction. So now it wants to create the migration. I think that's fine, and I just want to see, okay, and it does a JSON-B, right? So that is also completely fine with me. I just want to see if it could actually show me that migration. What is it called? Add reactions. This one. So add, yeah, and very, not allowed. Okay, so it actually, okay, so it actually defaults with an empty users and an account, and okay, and then it actually uses Gen. I need to look into why it does that. I'll just migrate. Okay, that's fine. It's, yeah, okay, that's fine. That's syntax. Okay. Now it does the migration, and now it probably wants to update the. Yes, it updates the model. So what it does a toggle reaction, having the user, finds the user, check if it's there, and then toggles it up and down. We could probably do this better, but for now that's fine. And then you get a reaction count, which is just checking the count for. Actually, I would like it to have the reaction also in this JSON array, and it seems like it didn't figure that out, which is because I might have prompted it incorrectly, because I'm not stating that it should actually post in a reaction which is extendable. So my bad. I'll update that before testing it out. But because it should be possible for it to rather fast update this to include a reaction. And again, I just want to basically copy the functionality of this one, so you can do an add, and if you do it again, it will do a remove, I guess. Yeah, so it does a remove. Okay. Now it updates the route, and it does on the route, it does a member with a react, which I would like to call post reactions react. Maybe it's not a bad input actually. And on the react, it simply toggles based on the current user. Perfect. Yeah, it is perfect. We probably need to see if we can actually, if it's authenticated. So authenticate, accept, and that is also right. So it needs to react on that. And then maybe it actually checks if it should check if it's signed in. But we can add that later. So what does it do here? It checks the, yeah, that's a button with a reaction. That's perfect. What is it doing now? That is interesting, because okay, now it actually decides, and now we're talking, clause 3.7 here, right? But it probably says, hey, I should do some kind of confetti when you actually press it, which is not, a bad idea. Something I obviously also wanted it to add later, but that it's doing it now, it's like, common. So I just want to see where is it actually going out of an edge here. So you have, it reads the controller, finds a reaction controller, or adds a reaction controller, and it updates it, and it does a confetti where it says it need lead. Okay, and then yeah, so when you press it, it will actually just react on it. So for this one, let's just test it out. So I do this, and it seems like it's not reacting to it. So let's see why it did not recognize the. You should do it here, and you have a button reacting on this one. And is it because I'm not able to press it? It should be able to do it. So let's just check out the console. I go here, and if I press this one, it actually doesn't react to it. But look, you can also see we have some absolute inset. So seems like I need to do a little bit of tweaking here. I will just see if I can actually get it pressable. Let's see. Oops. Okay. I don't want to test out too much. I just want to make sure that we actually have it. So let's move this one here so I can actually press it. What is this? Inset set 20. Why do I have that one? Set 10. Deployment path, view deployment path. Why is that doing that? I would like to let's see. I would like, okay, let me just get this for now. Let's just disable it for now, so I can actually figure this one out. So let's check it out. Boom. So it actually does a react and does a confetti, and the payload is okay. Yeah, it doesn't have the reaction, but what I would like to see now that it actually shows one, and if I press it again, it will react, and then it should remove my confetti, and I do one and reload, and it says one. So really nice to have that functionality working. What I want to do is I want to let's update the code so it's possible to add any more types of reactions. Could you update the JSON structure in the reactions table, and also ensure that we post the reaction when adding or removing reaction. So now what I want it to do is go in on the, actually if it was really cool it would add a new default on the migration, but at least I would like it to have a or maybe not. It doesn't really matter. What I want to say is that it's possible to do a reaction, but it does check for the add reactions migration. So let's see what it is actually trying to figure out. It might add a default. It might actually remove the default, because now you have potentially different reactions. So it should actually have a structure being a little bit more complex than this one. Need to have one nested. Yeah, exactly. Something like this. So they call it types. You could just have considered having it as a key. Yeah, maybe I want to change this. Stuff like this is probably easier to do manually than having to do it with CodePilot. But this is fine, right? It does what it should. It allows me to store multiple reactions. So it actually does update the migration. It's quite fun, it actually updates the migration instead of creating a new migration. Didn't check in result, so now I need to roll back, and it actually did not do that. Yeah, I probably need to do that with the rollback Rails DB migrate. I'll just do that. It helps it a little bit to keep up the structure. And now it actually does a lot more in the deployment. It checks for the reaction type and have a default. It's perfect, and then it just updates the code looking at that reaction. And again, I think I will probably refactor this one so we don't need to have the where was it? There. So I don't need to have the types one. It could just be that you use it for index, right? Celebrate. And again, I will probably revisit this code after we have seen that it works. But now the deployment controller is of course more yeah, it's a bit more complicated. It's a little bit annoying that Copilot actually changes my files when I look at it. They should change that. So okay, and the route now have a okay. So you do a React type. Perfect. I think this is a perfect solution for it. And then we go to the deployment, and now it probably wants to add multiple. And what does it actually do here? Come on. Because it goes through all reactions, and then it will. Okay, so this is just for pointing out. I'm just wondering what would it do to actually add a new reaction? It does a okay, fair enough. It does. Okay, so yeah, this one it should not show if it's not there already. So yeah, so this one we need to change, because what I want is I want a functionality like this. Yeah, either like this or here, but I don't want to show all 5 or X number of reactions, even though you haven't any counts on that one. And even though it only shows the count if there's one, it still shows the button. But that's fine. I haven't told it to update the. Yes, I haven't told it to update that kind of logic. So let's see. So now you have this one, and let's see if we can actually add a confetti, and it does a celebrate where it had the preview. No, sorry. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And it does. You can reload, and it does a thumbs up, and you can reload, and it. So we have like this. And obviously, I would like it to update manually, or yeah, using TurboStream. I would actually like it to update. But this is actually the feature we have now, which is a really good starting point. Now I can do another video where I will actually show how to do this as TurboStream, and also add this into a more common way of showing an array of reactions you can actually react on. Thanks.